Yo, 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 yo. Welcome back to the No Cut Sports Podcast with your host, Now Frazier. Um, First and foremost, appreciate everybody coming back to the profile, to the page. But if you could for me, please like, comment, and subscribe to always catch this vibe. I greatly appreciate it. Just want to hop on here and talk about a few things as of recent that's been coming out. Um, as y'all know, we are having our OC search for the Philadelphia Eagles. So far, it has not been going well, and I think that's for multiple reasons. There have been rumors about AJ Brown wanting out of a trade, or he wants to get traded to another team as early as week three of this past season. So you got that. Then on top of that, you got Nick Sirianni last week. I think I went live last week if I'm not mistaken, and I talked about that OC not the OC search, but the press conference that they had with Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni. And one of the questions that they did ask him was, you know, uh, for the new OC, like, will he have full control over this offense? And as you know, Nick Sirianni will give you a long, drawn out answer where it could have just been, a yes or a no. And he pretty much made it seem like, he still has control of what he wants to see out there on that field, which I feel like, hampers the new OC or the previous OC because now, because if I'm thinking about it now in hindsight, right? I'm thinking about it in hindsight. Yeah, we was pissed off with Kevin Patullo, right? But at the same time, what if Kevin Patullo's hands was tied behind his back? Even with what's my man name that they had in the 23 season that we got rid of, but he gave you a number eight offense, but it still felt like the offense was still being held back in some types of ways. I feel like overall though, Nick Sirianni might be the problem, bro. And I hope this don't turn into a Doug Peterson or a Press Taylor situation because he wants to bring in the guy that he feels like he can still have control over, opposed to trying to get his players a better OC or put them in better positions. Because for him to be not OC, but for him to be an offensive guru or offensive minded head coach, like I said before in my previous videos, I don't see it. Even Nick Foles alluded to this. Like, if you're offensive minded, how does your offense look like that? Why can't you fix your offense? And that's all I said. Like, I know a lot of people, they run with this narrative that you can have a CEO, coach, and things like that. Which, don't get me wrong, is fine, but um, I don't know, man. To me personally, I just feel like somebody that, like, if you put somebody in the position at a job or anything like that, right? You go to school, for that specific job or something in that falls in that category. And you go to school for a little bit. You don't know it fully, but you know something about it. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like, not to say that Nick don't, but you don't see it. You don't see like him being able to turn all his offense around and make it, somewhat better. I'm not sitting there saying, he can do it all, but be able to make the certain adjustments and get his players open or scheme his players open. We have yet to see that with Nick Sirianni. So I feel like he's probably one of the major reasons why this OC search is going the way that it is. Like I said, you have Mike McDaniels and you have Brian Daboll pulling their names. Brian Daboll probably wants to go coach. Uh, I think they say he wants to go coach, Josh Allen, become the head coach there. Or if he doesn't become the head coach there, he will become the OC for the Tennessee Titans with Cam Ward. Um, and I know people, and this is no disrespect to Josh Allen. This is more or less the narrative and the media's narrative that they paint for him. But he's just like, I don't know, man. Four turnovers in the playoff game, and we sitting here talking about elite this, elite that. Even Justin Herbert had his four turnovers in the playoff game against the Jaguars the year before that. I'm not going to sit there and say, kick a man while he's down, but I feel like the narrative need to change, man. He had nobody in his way this year. People gonna sit there and say, "Oh, it's the team, his defense, this, that, and the third." But there's no way in hell you think you can have four turnovers or five turnovers actually in a playoff game and think you're supposed to win that. That's not, and that's why they don't. That's why a lot of teams don't win because that mindset. They were like, "Oh, well, he was still close." They got him into overtime, this, that, and the third, and he just had a bad call. Four turnovers before that, you shouldn't even be in that position. At least up 3 points or a touchdown on the Denver Broncos. Call it what y'all want, but it's like, and people are talking about the calls and all that. You shouldn't have been in that position. You shouldn't have been there. So Brian Daboll wants to go up there and coach Josh Allen, whatever the case may be. Who I don't like me personally, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Because Brian Daboll wasn't one of my top guys to begin with, to be honest with you. I wanted Mike McDaniels. I like Bobby Slowik. I want somebody that's X's and O's that can come up in here and scheme things open. You feel what I'm saying? If they see something's wrong, they can fix their problems. Brian Daboll doesn't have a track record of success. I mean, you give him Josh Allen, and he was the offensive coordinator, but still, they didn't do anything. They didn't win anything. You know, they probably got to the playoffs, whatever the case may be, but he's still a turnover machine. So, I don't, and I'm not, this is no disrespect to Brian Daboll. And then the situation with them in college with Jalen Hurts and all that, because I think he was the OC at the time when he got benched, or whatever the case may be. So that probably was a conflict of interest there too, as well. You don't want nobody in the building that don't believe in you. So I can understand that, but I think overall now it's going to be very limited to who they can get to be the OC. You got Mike McDaniel's leaving. You got Brian Daboll leaving. I think they had Bobby Slowik, Weiss, Bob Cooter. I ain't. Those are names I'm not liking, to be honest with you. Like I like Slowik, like I said, but some of them other guys, I want somebody experienced, and I'm talking about NFL experience. I'm not talking about the college. We come up here and this would be his first time. Calling plays in the NFL. Did Daboll? Oh, I think you mean sign. Nah, I don't think he signed, but they're speculating that he is already. Well, I guess let me just pull this up before I say this wrong. But they were sitting there saying, for the most part, that Brian Daboll had more interest in going to the Bills and being the head coach there. And if he didn't get that position, that they think he's going to take the Tennessee offensive coordinator job under Robert Saleh. So I'm trying to see if I can pull this up really quick for y'all. My fault, y'all. Let me see. My fault. If I don't see if y'all comment, I'm on Twitter really quick to see if it come up. Um, oh wow. So Josh Allen needs an off-season foot procedure. Okay. Trying to see where I seen it at. Might have been on Instagram, to be honest with you. Nah, you good, bro. You got. I knew what you meant. I knew what you meant. But hopefully everything well with you too, man. Um, but I just think overall, like, and I know Diana Rossini said this too. She was like that the OC job for the Philadelphia Eagles isn't as attractive. Excuse me, isn't as attractive as uh people are making it seem. You know what I mean? Because yeah, we got the players, but I think this is more of a head coach and OC conflict, because you got to think the two people that Nick Sirianni brought up to be OCs, excuse me, worked under him or worked with him for some period of time. I think Brian Johnson got here at the same time that Nick was hired. Excuse me. So I just feel like the people that he hires, he still wants to be able to control that, and I don't like that. I really don't like that, because my thing is, like I said, if you can't adjust your offense, why are you worried about having complete control over the offense? It just makes no sense to me. Who do you think of? What do you think of Bobby? I like Bobby Slowik. Now I don't think he has as much OC experience. I think he only like called plays those 2 years with the Texans. And then he's the pass game coordinator up under Mike McDaniels, who again, like I said, he's up under Mike McDaniels. He might have learned something from Mike. But he already had like that. I don't want to say it might be a West Coast offense, but I just know like the motion in the backfield, you getting players open, scheming players open. Like now we got to talk about CJ, because was it Bobby's fault or was it CJ's fault? Because CJ go out here in the playoffs these last 2 seasons, he ain't been looking himself. And then ended up getting Bobby Slowik fired last year, which in turn made him the pass game coordinator for the Dolphins. But I think Bobby Slowik is one of those guys. He's still up and coming, but he was kind of getting like that Ben Johnson praise that off season when he was with the Texans that first season. So I just want somebody, like I said, just X's and O's, man. If you should be able to adjust. If this is your offense and your offensive scheme, you should be able to adjust if you see something wrong. I feel like that's something that Nick Sirianni and Kevin Patullo lack. Or maybe not Kevin Patullo, or maybe he just could never get that that grace from Nick Sirianni. So, like I said, I'm not trying to put stuff out there, but me personally, I feel like it's Nick. You can't think that you listened to that press conference last week, and hear him say the things that he's saying. It's like, brother, you just seen what you put out there. Y'all couldn't even score barely in the second half, and you still want to have your hands on the offense. I don't think that's right. So if whoever Seahawks OC is, I want him. He got Seahawks humming. Imagine Jalen Hurts on the Seahawks team. Oh my God, yes. His is it Kubiak? Clint Kubiak? If I'm not mistaken, the Seahawks OC. I ain't going cap, bro. I watched that. I watched the. I had to watch the game because I'll call y'all back. I had to watch the game because you already knew what the 49ers came on in here talking all that talk. And then I'm like, all right, y'all gotta play the Seahawks. The last time they had played the Seahawks, they scored 3 points. And then they only scored the 6 points this time. So they wasn't doing nothing. But the way that they got that team playing, the way that he got that team playing, bro, like the defense looked like hell on wheels, but then the offense too. Scheming players open, running the running backs. Now, I know Charbonnet done got injured, so he's going to be out for the rest of the season. So, things do happen like that. But overall, that offense has been pumping. 41 points in a playoff game, bro. That's crazy, man. So, but I'm thinking, like, to be honest with you, NFC, the NFC championship game is probably going to be the Rams and the Seahawks. So, well, yeah, we knew that, but yeah, so, but yeah, man. But overall, like I was saying, man, I just want to see like somebody come in here with a different idea, cause like even Smitty has said it. What do you think of Zach Robinson? Wait, wait, Zach Robinson's the OC from was that Atlanta? Let's see, is he from Atlanta? I'd be wanting to say your real name on here. I don't know if you want me to say it, but but y'all think Zach Robinson, the Rams? Zach Robinson. Zach Robinson. The black guy, is he black or mixed or something like that? I think I just seen his name before I got up on here. He's another guy I wouldn't mind. I want somebody coming from that Sean McVay, the Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan tree. Like, all right, Jonathan, my fault, my fault. Yeah, yeah. I ain't know if you want. I ain't know if you wanted me to say it, bro. Because I know some people, they don't want their business out there like that. But yeah, man, I think he would be okay too, though. They say he's up and coming. Like, what's the other boy, Charlie Weiss or whatever from the college rankings. Um, but I just feel like whoever it is, it's just got to be honestly, this just has to be the right person at this point because I feel like AJ Brown is going to react in a way where how can I say this? Because he can't get traded. He can't get traded, but the lack of effort I've seen from AJ Brown, and I'm an AJ Brown. This is no disrespect to AJ Brown, okay? I love AJ Brown, but what I seen from AJ Brown this year, he just didn't look like he was in it. Like he really didn't look like he bought into the offense, honestly, because he know better than we do. He told us all season, bro. He told us all season what we probably could expect, and it was to be in this situation. I just don't get it. Like, why wouldn't you want to consult your franchise QB, your players such as AJ Brown, he's a captain, Schmitty, you know what I'm saying? Why wouldn't you want them to have the input and be like, you know what, we should get this OC. We just won a Super Bowl. You got the talent to win, you know what I'm saying? I work better like this. Like that's what the OC should be coming in there and being like, let me talk to AJ Brown, let me talk to Jalen Hurts, Smitty, those guys that are already on contract are going to be here, star players. You know, what do you want me to do for you? Or what can I do for you? You feel what I'm saying? Or that conversation like like what can you do for me? How can you get me open? How can you scheme me open? Those would be the questions I'm asking. So like you all right, you say you like him? I'm not saying he's not good. I just feel like I need somebody experienced. Not to say he's not experienced, but I need somebody like, a couple of years, and then gotta be too crazy, but like, 2, 3 years of having somewhat of calling plays. So Philly need a new kicker badly. These missed extra points is unacceptable, and these extra points we missing, and now we can't score. It's hard to get the point back. Oh, okay. Yeah, man. I think overall, I said this last year. I think it's been time to bring somebody in to challenge uh, Jake Elliott. Um, and you seen it kind of in the playoffs this past weekend, like not the 49ers game, but like the Josh Allen Bills versus the Denver Broncos. They win by 3 points. I think it was another game that ended in like a 3 point, was it a field goal or something like that. So and then also too, people got to remember, like, you don't really score a lot of points in the playoffs. So your field goals are really your kicker, but the field goals really come into play, bro. Because just like you said, if you can't score or you're not scoring, you at least can get in the field goal position, or hopefully your field goal kicker can get you those points. And you see, like, sometimes these games are like lose by 3, lose by 4. Um, so we'll see. I like Mike Kafka, but he might not last long. Mike Kafka, I don't know, man. I'm not gonna say it's their fault or his fault, but just them not being able to, because they were putting the points up. It's just that defense wasn't be able to close out games, man. And I know he inherited that team. He wasn't even there that long. That was Brian Daboll, and then they had they fired him and then brought him in as the interim head coach. I mean, I would try him. Also Joe Brady maybe, but I think he has head coaching opportunity. So it's still some people out there, but the list is getting very thin, man. It's getting very thin. And I feel like now, I don't know, man. I feel like if they get this wrong, this is going to be the beginning of the end. Where now we just wasting talent for players. I'm wasting talent and money on players, and just getting one Super Bowl. I feel like, I mean, yeah, it's cool, but they should have been able to get two or three. Like like when they won the Super Bowl this past season, and Jalen even said it. He alluded to it too. He was like, KP ain't never did this before. He already knew what to expect. He ain't never do that before. And you're trying to make a run back to the Super Bowl. That's why you see, what's my man name from he just left the Chicago Bears to go back to the Chiefs. There's a reason why they wanted him back. That man don't take no, he don't play around. You doing something wrong, he gonna tell you doing something wrong. Period. That's why they can continue to keep winning, man. Like it ain't just one person, it's a lot of people, but he will definitely make a difference in that offense. You're holding your players accountable, star players accountable, everybody. You don't care what you get paid. He said, I feel like Nick Sirianni and AJ Brown don't like each other. Bro, let me finish reading your comment, but um each other. Yes, they say in press conferences we love each other, but I bet behind the scenes they're looking at each other. Bro, they looking at each other sideways. You remember when he walked in, the Bills after they won the Bills game, and you heard Nick Sirianni doing all that extra rah-rahness, and AJ just looked at him. There's another, what was it, the 23 season? Was it the 23 season or last year where AJ Brown, they got caught AJ Brown giving Nick Sirianni the side eye? I don't really think he cared for him that much, man. I really don't. And you got to think AJ Brown got there this season. We went to the Super Bowl. So 22 season, right? Nick Sirianni wasn't calling plays. They already had put Shane Steichen in there. So Shane Steichen doing his thing, getting him open, getting Smitty open, got 1,000-yard receiver in Miles Sanders. You feel me? And AJ Brown, I still cannot find this clip, but if y'all remember, we lost the Super Bowl. The press conference, I don't know if it was right after the Super Bowl or it was like maybe a few days afterwards. They had talked to AJ Brown at his locker. Okay. It's a press game conference or something like that. And they had asked him, when did y'all know you was going to lose the Super Bowl? And he said when they weren't aggressive, I think they might have kicked the field goal right before the halftime or something like that. He said that. He said we've been being aggressive all year. All year, he said. And the one time we're not aggressive, we go for the field goal, not the touchdown, to go for it on fourth. He said, and then it just spiraled out of control after that. And I always felt like he held that over Nick Sirianni's head because, yeah, they got one now, but they could actually have two, regardless of the defense and how they played, which was very poor. But I still feel like he thinks that they think they could have had that Super Bowl because of the caliber of players that they have. And honestly, I don't blame him. I don't blame him. It's your last game, bro. Your last game. Just go for it. Yo, DV, what's going on, brother? He said, I would like an older veteran OC. He could help teach Sirianni some offensive schemes. Bro, but just think about this. Jonathan, think about this, bro. Nick Sirianni has had Shane Steichen, Kellen Moore. At least I'm gonna just name them two because they have the experience of being, calling plays and things like that. And I've said this before. If you had people like that coming in here, why aren't you trying to be like, become a student once again, bro? You don't know everything. Go. Put it to you like this, and I've said this before on here. Vic Fangio, he didn't come in here the 22 season to consult the defense. He came in to consult the offense. So my thing is, you have this man sitting in the building, Nick Sirianni, bro. I don't know what your day consists of, and I don't know what Vic day consists of either. But give me an hour of your time each day for like 3 days out of the week. Show me what you think I can do to advance this scheme. Or maybe just throw the damn scheme out and go get me and come up with something different or bring somebody else in here. That's how I'm looking at it. If I'm lacking in something, I'm trying to learn. Sooner or later, I'm a head coach. My team looks up to me. They're looking up to me for the answers, or they're looking at me for the answers that I can't give them. You got to bring an OC in here just to make your offense work. That's why I said, why do we have him having any type of control over this offense at all if he can't even adjust the offense that he already has? I'm not trying to say man need to get fired or anything like that. I mean, I probably said it before because he pissed me off, you know what I'm saying? But that's the fan coming out in me. In hindsight, the man just need to step to the side, honestly, and let somebody come in here and just run the team and just reap the success that they're going to give you. You're benefiting from a good team, and then you benefit from having good OCs when you have those seasons when you go to the Super Bowl. We all see it. Because when it's left up to him, he can't do it. And that's okay. That is okay. I mean, it's not okay, but it's okay. But you got to figure out how each season you're going to be able to figure out how to retain or get a new OC in here that is able to either do your scheme or come up with their own scheme. But then that becomes a problem because you got different schemes coming in and out. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I said Nick Sirianni is the problem. Bro, it is too big. It's way too big. Yeah, I've been to 2 Super Bowls. That's more than what Doug could do. Like, I'm honestly like, I feel like that's how he's thinking. I took this team to 2 Super Bowls, way more than what Doug Peterson. Yeah, he won. But I took them to 2. Probably could have got them back to 3. You know what I'm saying? If the situation was right. But you have to look past that. Each year's a different year. We're not the only team that's tooling and trying to get better players and get better over the offseason. It's 32 teams. No, it needs to. It's Super Bowl or bust for. Yo, I honestly think so, bro. I feel like they're going to let him have this season. If you bring Frank Reich in here or somebody that you want to kiss your, you know what I'm saying, and he do what he did this past season, it's a wrap. You will be Doug Peterson. You will be Doug Peterson for sure. He said Nick Sirianni should be able to call plays by now. He's been around good play callers his whole career. If he can't, that's embarrassing. Do something. Don't let the team fall apart every other. Bro, yes. Just think about that. Players now know that if we don't, because the pattern has already been written, we know that if the OC isn't good, you're not competent enough to fix the offense that you want us to run. You feel what I'm saying? They're in there every day with this guy, and they listen to him. They you know what I'm saying? They've been here for a few years. They know what they expect from this. They know. So just think if you knew when you work at a certain job, all right, you know what I'm saying? It's been a little bit since I had a job. But my thing is this. I had certain bosses I was cool with, and I had certain bosses I wasn't cool with. Even coworkers, you got certain coworkers you're cool with, and there's other coworkers you don't like. But my thing is this. With AJ Brown, he's not putting up with this, bro. He is not putting up with it. That's why you see all this. He's been tolerating Nick Sirianni. He's probably been tolerating Kevin Patullo because he's getting paid. He's under contract. But I guarantee you the feelings aren't mutual in the way that they maybe see the football field. They might like each other off the field, but when it comes to football, I guarantee you can't stand this man. I guarantee you. And not in a bad way. He just can't stand that. He like, you know what I'm saying? You in the way of the offense, bro. We really could be eating. We could be eating, bro. And Nick just like, nah, I don't think, I love AJ, this, that, and the third. Bro, okay, we understand that, but your offense is not helping AJ. It ain't helping AJ. Yeah, they got another 1,000 yards, but bro, I watched Joe Burrow just be throwing the ball all over the field, man. His defense cheeks. But you like what? Come on, man. Come on, man. JB, I got you, bro. I got you. I got you. Yeah, but it's to me, it's just I don't know, man. I feel like it's Nick Sirianni, bro. And I feel like if this is something that they don't get right with the OC, it's going to be even more problems, more reports coming out next year. Um, more players or rumors are coming out the locker room or whatever, and it's just going to blow up in our faces, honestly. And then we're gonna get that same little here come Nick Sirianni and here come Howie Roseman that offseason. We're doing everything we possibly can to get this team back to a Super Bowl. Da, 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 da. When all the fans can see it, bro. All the fans can see it. So if AJ Brown was on the Seahawks, he would love it. Love it. Same with Jalen Hurts. He would be lighting it up with the Seahawks skill positions. He would have went back to back. Nick has to use all that extra energy on offense. Bro, he don't want to study. He don't want to study. I'm not saying Nick don't do anything, but when it comes to like the offense, which he's supposed to be a guru or whatever they deemed him as, we never see it. We never see it. I'm sorry, bro, but your offense has to have more motion. It has to, bro. It has to. He's not. That's not our. I'm not saying he's running an elementary offense, but bro, you need a more complicated offense to throw defenses off. Period. Defenses are too good. Like we're sitting here talking about that Seahawks defense. You think you're gonna be able to go out there against the Eagles and run no motion, and you just going and they know what you're running, and you're going and you think they're going you're going to throw the ball and get points and score? No, they see it coming, and you ain't fooling nobody. Like, come on, man. They make it seem like your average fan don't know what they talking about. You watch other teams all like I watch my team on Sunday, but that doesn't mean I just stop watching football. I watch all the games. I got a fantasy. You feel what I'm saying? I got players on different teams. I have to watch these games, and I'm always watching these games like, damn, why don't the Eagles run that? Why we don't do that? Like, come on, man. It makes zero sense to me. And then just like my man JB say, why aren't you sitting here trying to become better at play calling, sequencing play calls and things like that? Because I don't think. Well, before I say this, he is a bad play caller. But I feel like if he was maybe, I don't know, give him a series or something like that. Throughout these last few years, the call plays like I want to see this, see that, see this, and then call it, and then see how it go. I don't think one series is going to destroy a game with this type of team. But I don't feel like Nick Sirianni just I don't know. Like, I don't know what he do. I don't know what he do. I'm sorry to say it, but all that trying to keep grown men to from arguing and all that is good and dandy. But then you got to still do more, man. You got to be able to go to your team and be like, all right, we see you not, you're not we're not getting you open, AJ. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to adjust these routes. We're going to run these different routes instead of putting you on this hitch route or whatever the case may be, go ball. We're going to put you over here. We're going to move you to the slot, this, that, and the third. Then you're a little bit more encouraged at that point. You're a little bit like, all right, maybe he know what he's talking about. Now, I'm not saying he don't have that conversation, but they clearly can't have that conversation. You can't be having that conversation. When you be doubling the hitch routes and all that, you're not having those conversations. And if you are, you're not taking heed to what the player is telling you. Now, when they listen to the players last year, that got us a Super Bowl. We need to run the ball more. Super Bowl. And even they didn't even run the ball in the Super Bowl. They had to throw the ball. So that's what I'm sitting there saying. I've seen this team do multiple things. This just comes down to coaching at this point. Kevin Patullo backup plan when our offense goes still is roll over and die. There was a warning signs. Dallas 21-point lead blown was a sign. Even the first game versus Dallas, we didn't score in the second half. Exactly. No, they might did they? No, they might have scored. Was it field goals? Might have been some field goals. I can't remember. That was the first game of the week, or the year, excuse me. But I do know this, right? When we had lost, was it 2 games or 3 games before the bye? Was it before the bye? It was like 2 or 3 games we lost, and I'm like, bro, and we already seen it happening. That Rams game, that was week 3. Jalen Hurts had to pull a rabbit out of a hat with AJ Brown to even win that game, and then the fact that they even got that close, and then that happened with Jordan Davis being able to return that ball. That doesn't happen all the time. That don't happen all the time, but they have it in them. But my thing is this: if they played like that all game, you wouldn't be in that position. And we see like, yo, first half we clucking, but usually that's the scripted plays. That's oh, we got time throughout the week. We can sit here and game plan and think what they're going to come out in. But when they adjusted after second half, we didn't look like we knew what we were doing at all on offense. It's too many people on offense to not know how to. You can't scheme something up to score. Come on, man. It just don't make sense to me. But who am I? So even first game, all right. We was a Josh Allen missed throw from another blown lead versus Buffalo. Absolutely. And the only reason why we probably were in that game was because of our defense. Only because of our defense, and also Josh Allen too. He's known for just we've seen it multiple times now. He's known for just missing like that. Going out there and making that play that the elite players are supposed to make is not in Josh Allen's vocabulary at all. I'm sorry, because I don't watch this man too many times. I had him on my fantasy team. He go out here, all regular season like Dak Prescott, throwing all these yards, picks too, fumbling the ball, stuff like that. And then when it happens and it catches up to him, the excuses that they make for him is crazy. What? Because all due respect, Josh Allen should have tore us up. keep it P. He should have tore us all the way up. Pause. There was no reason why they should have lost that game. We should have lost that game, honestly. That should be like 19-18. Come on, man. But they're gonna make the excuses for Josh Allen, though. I'm telling y'all, bro. All week. We've been I've been what is it, Wednesday today? Listen, man. I've been sitting here watching ESPN. I've been watching Instagram and all that, right? First and foremost, like I said, and this is no disrespect. As a grown man, I'm not going up to no podium and crying about nothing. All due respect. That's just me. And same thing with Jalen Hurts when he had that little sit down with Cam. Like, I understand, being upset, but the crying, I don't get that. Me personally, I'm sorry. You can sit there and say whatever you want. I'm not gonna sit here and cry when I know I was the main reason why we effed up and we lost. I'm not gonna go up there and cry. I'm gonna suck it up like a man. I'm gonna be like, went out here and he said all that, but he should have said all that without the tears. You got to be a leader at the end of the day for your team. Then the rest of the team crying and all that, like they ain't never going. Bro, y'all act like y'all ain't got a chance to go back next year, but they know next year probably won't be as good of a chance as they had this year. But I'm not sitting here making no excuses for nobody that's sitting here that they deemed elite. This is one of the teams they deemed was supposed to win the Super Bowl this year. I'm not making no excuses for that man at all. I'm sitting here hearing people talk about they know more than the refs. The ref said it's not if the ref say it's not a catch, it's not a catch. Ask Des Bryant. Ask Calvin Johnson. Who are we to sit there and say it's not a catch? Well, we don't even know what a catch is, bruh. Listen, don't matter at the end of the day. They should have never been in that position. 5 turnovers, 4 by your quarterback is crazy. No, you're not going to win that damn game. You're tripping. Josh Allen isn't best in his division. Drake May, yo. Keep it a beam. Drake May win this joint. I ain't gonna cap. Like there's gonna be some real. It's real conversation now, but it's gonna be some real conversations going around because you got to think Lamar Jackson still ain't won. Joe Burrow still ain't won. Josh Allen still ain't won. Justin Herbert, who Mike McDaniels is going to be coaching now, he can have all that and he still probably won't win because I don't think people understand. You get. How can I say? You get blinded by talent, I think. A lot of people get blinded by talent. They think that somebody that can go out here and throw for 4,500 yards, 5,000 yards a season, 30 touchdowns, 40 touchdowns equivalates or is equivalent to you going to a Super Bowl or winning playoff games. That's not how that works. You need a team. Josh Allen got paid this past, was it March, May? 300 million, 330. What was it? 200. It was $230 million extension on top of what he was already getting, which is like 300 mil. And people were sitting here talking about from the Bills, like, oh, he need more talent. Well, the only way you get more talent is if you stop robbing your team and not producing. Because we know he's going to get you to the playoffs, but when y'all get to the playoffs, look what he do. What? No high-level OC wants to work under Nick Sirianni. You are absolutely correct, my brother. Yo, and if y'all in this joint, if y'all come for me, please, man, like, comment, and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it, man. But you're absolutely right, man. I don't know when you got here, but that's why I started off with. You got to think. Somebody that's coming in here that knows what they're talking about, knows what they're doing, understands offenses to more of a complex level than what Nick Sirianni does. Why would I want to listen to somebody like that? Like I always try to relate this to work. Like when you go work a job and you know more than your boss, you know your boss ain't smart enough to be doing the job to begin with, and you know more than that boss, you feel like you should have his position. And it's in some type of way, not no hating type of way, but it's just like you can see the incompetence. So when the OCs are coming in here, you mean to tell me I gotta come in here and fix this man's office and deal with this? That is one report I believe from Diana Rossini. This might not be as attractive as people were making it seem. The team, the players on the team that's attractive. But then I have to come in here and deal with an offensive coordinator. I mean, deal with a head coach that can't call an offense, but want me to fix your stuff. I should be the coach. This is what I said when Kellen Moore, and just think about this, Kellen Moore and Nick Sirianni both had interviews to become the head coach for the Philadelphia Eagles. Okay. And I always ask this question: what did they see in Nick Sirianni that they didn't see in Kellen Moore? Just to bring Kellen Moore in here 2 years later or 3 years later to fix Nick Sirianni's offense and get him a Super Bowl. I'm not understanding that. They wanted to make this little change with having somebody that and I guess he was brought in here to call plays, but then they ended up stripping him of that. And he hasn't called plays since then. I mean, he meddles in the offense, but he hasn't been able to call plays since then. They see this is not working, bro. And Howie can sit there and say whatever he wants. He's like, if this is what comes with having a great season or good teams, our OCs become head coaches or they get better jobs. He said, we'll deal with that. I guarantee you that is not what he wants to deal with. You're going to want somebody that you can have in here like a Sean McVay. For not how long has Sean McVay been with the Rams now? He's been there for a minute. And they got another opportunity to go back to a Super Bowl. You get Kyle Shanahan, which I probably shouldn't say his name because Kyle Shanahan went to 3 Super Bowls, ain't won none of them, but he's went to 3 Super Bowls. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like if our success is dictated on if the OC can get us to where we need to go. Without complications from our head coach or front office. Because I heard some, you hear about them talking about the analytics and all that, which every team uses, but sometimes that might override what the play caller should be calling, which I hope is not the case. So it says New York Giants, John Harbaugh, that team might be ready to compete in the NFC East. They already got a good solid young QB, Jackson Dart, in the skills position and D-line. They might be better than Dallas next year. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I don't really know how to feel about that. Not John. What's my man name? Is it John Harbaugh? Is that the one? Is that the Harbaugh brother that's in New York now? Regardless, though, right? I don't know, man. You mean to tell? Look, let's just think about this right quick. You mean to tell me that he had Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry? Okay, now Derrick Henry is older. I will give y'all that. Derrick Henry, you had a great defense for year in and year out, damn near. I'm talking about, they got some players that I wanted from out the draft or whatever the case may be. Line is pretty good on the offensive side, and I mean, outside of wide receivers, maybe that might be, something that can be left up. Cause I like Zay Flowers, but I don't think Zay Flowers is up there like Jamar Chase or like what that type of number one receiver. But he was a good enough number one receiver for him. So with all that, I don't know, man. I don't know. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like it might turn him around, but I don't know, man. Jackson Dart's still young. He got to learn how to protect his body, man. Buddy be out here playing backyard football like he can't get hurt. So, Cam Scatterbull I like, but he's not like maybe with Singletary that they got as their other running back. Maybe that duo does something, but we'll see, man. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. You know, they might do something, but it's just hard for me to believe that the Giants get back on track because they still got a little problem too with the head coach and what's the GM's name? Sheen. He had a press conference yesterday. He looked like he was about to pass out. So we'll see. Mike McDaniel's an up and coming head coach in the league. NFC West got the best coaches now. They definitely do, man. I mean, they usually always had like good coaching, good players, and teams over on that side. So he said he couldn't win with Lamar Henry, but they think he can win with a budget version. I don't even think that's a budget version, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? Right, right. I don't see it, man. I think a lot of times people, and he don't call plays neither. So you got Todd Monken, which is probably always going to be with him because they probably cool, whatever the case may be. He knows he always has a job as long as he stays with him. But I think overall, I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, I still think they can compete. Um, but it's more or less their defense. I thought was more or less the problem. I think the offense was okay. They do get Malik Neighbors back too as well. So I forgot about that. To get him back, and he's a decent wide receiver. So we'll see, man. We'll see what they can do. But I just think I really don't see nobody messing with the E. Like, and I'm not trying to be biased about this. Only way I can see us falling off is, like I said, this OC hire. Like if this OC hire go left, and it's not the person that is going to benefit this team and more or less benefit the head coach, it's going to be the same thing that we got, if not worse, because players are really not going to buy in at that point. And then you got a situation where you're back at square one. Do they blow the team up? Do they get rid of AJ Brown? Because that's still left up to speculation as well. There's rumors, not to say he's going to get traded because he's still under contract, but we've seen things happen before. We've seen things happen before. And if you lose AJ Brown, I don't feel like you get what player you got coming up in here that's an AJ Brown that's going to be able to, help us. I don't see it, man. So I think they need to keep this team together, but I think they got to get this OC hire right. They have to get it right, man. They have to bring somebody in here that is able to do what they deem necessary. Don't get me wrong. If they see something wrong, of course, let Nick Sirianni, whoever needs to step in, do something, or say something. But we've given Nick too many chances to show us what he can do, and he hasn't been able to do it. So that's just me. AJ Brown will have been crashed out by week 3 or 4 if we get those. He gonna crash out before the season start. He said Brian don't want to be the Eagles OC. Nah, bro, he don't. He said he I figured, you know what the funny part is? I figured he wouldn't want to come here because of the situation back in the day and with Jalen Hurts, because people are like, oh, they have familiarity. I think he was the OC when he got benched. So I don't think Jalen Hurts was a big fan of having him come up in here. You know what I'm saying? Then he said what he said this offseason, not offseason, but this past season with AJ Brown's open a lot. Remember he was sitting there, playing on that when we played them. So I ain't really want Buddy coming up in here. Like my thing was Mike McDaniels. I said Bobby Slowik, somebody that's X's and O's that can get the players open, some motion in the backfield. You know what I mean? Go from there. But I don't know. I think the Eagles, man, they're probably going to try to lean to somebody like Frank Wright. You want continuity? Oh, we'll get Frank Wright because it helps Nick Sirianni. You know what I'm saying? And then I just don't see it, bro. I don't see it. So we'll see, man. We'll see. Jeremiah Smith. You're talking about the wide receiver? I don't even know, to be honest with you. I don't even know. So I didn't even get a chance to look at the draft yet. I'm still trying to figure out this OC situation because I mean, even if you can land Jeremiah Smith, you got the wrong OC, it's not going to benefit us at all. How hard is it to get our talented players the ball? It must be super hard, bro. They make it super hard because even though they still got 1,000 yards, it's like they struggled to get 1,000 yards. They didn't even, you know what I'm saying? They didn't even make it easy. I'm sitting here watching players just get schemed open. I'm like, why don't they do that? Everything got to be hard for this team, dog. And if y'all like what I'm talking about, please like the stream. Let's see how hard. Oh, I read that. My fault. Yeah, please like the stream. I greatly appreciate it. Subscribe as well if y'all like what I'm talking about. Um, but yeah, man, I just think overall we got to figure out next with this OC. I don't think anything else has come out. I know Brian Daboll was supposed to have his joint this week, or he had it this past week, and then he said now he's not coming back. So who is this? Keon Coleman dancing on TikTok. Oh my god, see what I'm saying, bro? So let me see if I got anything on here. No, with Daboll, Mike McDaniel's out. Here are my okay. Want but slash unlikely would be Joe Brady. Want likely say Bobby Slowik. That's what I'm thinking. That's who I think about. That's who I'm leaning more towards a Bobby Slowik. They got Cliff Kingsbury, but I don't really want him, to be honest with you. I think he's a good OC and stuff like that, but not the type of OC that I'm looking for this team. So the real question is there an available OC candidate that is better or as good as Kellen Moore? I would, like I said, like but he hasn't been doing it long enough. Like Bobby Slowik hasn't been doing it long enough. I think he had, I don't know what that offense was ranked when he had CJ Stroud that first year, but they did pretty damn well. So, and then he had that fall off year. So I think Bobby Slowik, I don't even like what's the other guy? What he got the funny names. Scat something his name is from the Colts. I don't want him neither. I don't want him neither. He was running blocking was horrible. We couldn't really get Saquon barely going. No, it was very, very bad. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. It was very bad. And that's something else too, the offensive line. Like going into the draft, when I do my draft video, you're gonna hear me talking about a lot of offensive linemen this year because if they're gonna keep Saquon and Tank Bigsby and they want this run game to work, they're either gonna have to go out here and go get some new offensive linemen. I'm not saying like get them all the way up out here because they're all on contract, but bringing in some new guys, some younger guys, man, because I thought Brett Toth should have stepped in for the center position with Cam Jurgens when he was going in and out. He had that back surgery this year. I feel like that affected him as well. And then Landon Dickerson playing on that meniscus tear really didn't do us no favors. But he was just, missing blocks. Both of them missing blocks. It just seemed like there was no discipline this year throughout the whole team. So defense seemed always to be together, but offensively, there was no discipline on that offensive line from the players on that offensive side of the ball. It was always something. Penalty calls, missing blocks. It's just little stuff that Nick Sirianni talks about. The details, the fundamentals, all that extra stuff that he talked about every press conference. It kept getting worse and worse. That's how I know. You're like, bro, the team is not buying in. They're not buying in. He said Tank Bigsby would have been better. He's better at hitting a hole than Saquon wasn't. Yeah, bro. But man, the team just had me so fed up this year because I felt like there were things that they could have did throughout the season to somewhat still be in this, maybe lose the NFC Championship game or the Super Bowl, whatever. But my thing is, I'm looking at these teams now that are to the left, and I'm like, bro, the Eagles definitely should have been able to do something. They should have been able to do something. Even you almost beat the 49ers. Like, so how would you feel about Brady from Buffalo? I would have loved Brady, but they're talking about he might be getting a head coaching position. So, and I don't blame you, man. He done tried everything, and that's what I'm sitting there saying with Josh Allen. My man done did everything possible to get Josh Allen to a Super Bowl, and this is what he gets. So, I would love Joe Brady here for the offense, but I don't think he's coming here, bro. I really don't feel like this is an attractive position to a lot of OCs, man, regardless of, if you get this offense together, and, you get picked up next year by a different team or become a head coach for a different team. Just having to deal with Nick Sirianni and his nonsense and then AJ Brown and whoever else, like, I don't think this is as attractive as people are making it seem. which is sad to say because this position is pretty much dictated on if we go to the Super Bowl or not. Like if you pick the wrong OC, you're going to have a similar season to what you had this year. If you pick a great OC, you know, like, all right, he's going to probably get us pretty deep into the playoffs. Like I said, at least the NFC Championship game or maybe the Super Bowl. That's the roster that they have for this team. They have a Super Bowl roster with Dollar Tree play calling, bro. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. So that's why I said I can't be mad at AJ coming out this year. The tweets saying what he was saying on Rondo's stream, talking about just take me off your fantasy and all that. I can't be mad at that because he knows what he's seeing. He's seen it before. This ain't going to be conducive to us getting to a Super Bowl. The loud crowd, that loud crowd, Seahawks would have blown. Yeah, bro, they would have cooked us, bro. They would have dismantled us like what was that when the 49ers came that 23 season? They'd have did us like that, if not worse. On Speakeasy with Ocho. Oh, with Acho, my fault. They think that due to Jalen's limited capabilities is what is determining OC's candidates. I mean, maybe that too. It could be that too. I think every quarterback. How can I say this? Because I don't want to sound like no Hurts, you know, fanboy, nothing like that. But I think every quarterback has struggles. Um, it's up to the OC though to cover up them struggles because I'm seeing things like, oh, we should trade Josh Allen for Jalen Hurts. Why would I do that? I wouldn't do that. Now, some other people might do that, but me personally, why would I do that? When I have a quarterback that I know went to two multiple Super Bowls, outplayed Patrick Mahomes, the player that they say Josh Allen can't get past. Why would I do that? But see, like I was saying before, everybody wants to believe that the way that Josh Allen 6'6", can throw all the different passes and stuff like that, they leave it there. Like, look what he can do when he has, the ball in his hands and things like that. Nobody never wants to talk about how Josh Allen is the number one leading turnover machine at quarterback. Nobody ever wants to pull out that stat. You just seen it on the what you call it this past Sunday. Nobody never wants to talk about that. I always talked about it. So I'm like, bro, they go on Jalen Hurts for not doing certain things, but then when you get this type of situation with Josh Allen, I hear every excuse but them saying the limitations that Josh Allen has, which is his turnovers. Nobody never talks about that. Even when Brian Daboll was there, if I'm not mistaken, turnover machine. So my thing is this: people get blinded by, like I said, regular season stats. Like, whoa, look what he can do. Like even the Caleb Williams throw, that shit was amazing. That was amazing that he caught that ball for a touchdown. Backpedaling off the back foot, dying. But what happened? They lost. That shit looks sexy in the moment. It looks very sexy in the moment. But when it's time to win, you don't care how it's supposed to look, as long as you're the one that's standing at the end. And I think that's a lot of people's problem. A lot of people's problem. I think Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback. He has his limitations. But one thing I know, when the money's on the line, Jalen Hurts is going to perform. He throw a pick, he might fumble. He ain't give you 4 fumbles in the Super Bowl. He not giving you 4 fumbles in the playoff game. You can do all that stuff in the regular season because you know why? There's another game to play next Sunday. You're just playing 17, 18 games to figure out your record to see if you're going to be able to put your ticket into the playoffs, and then it starts all back over. So I mean, it's all love, but like people talking about, oh, I will put this quarterback in place of Jalen Hurts. And if Jalen Hurts was on this team, he'd be ass. Or if he was here, he'd be great. It's a lot that go into it, man. And I think a lot, and that's another reason why I said I want me a good OC to come in here, because regardless of what you think of and of course you want a good, talented quarterback. You know what I'm saying? But every quarterback has his strengths and his weaknesses. But like I said, it's their job to come in here and fix that. Jalen Hurts needs to be thrown over the middle of the field a lot more. It's a lot of stuff that Jalen Hurts needs to do. Run more. You know what I'm saying? But if the OC not telling him that, or if Nick Sirianni don't want them doing that, or the organization, like, I don't know where it come from, because he was doing it before. Now he's not doing it no more. So I think that's just more or less coming from the coaching staff. But it's the coaching staff to make sure that Jalen Hurts is always playing at his peak. Shane Steichen got him to play well, throwing the ball, whatever the case may be. Kellen Moore somewhat as well. I mean, he pretty much leaned more on the run. But when it was time for Jalen to make those deep throws, Cincinnati Bengals to Smitty, uh, whatever, it don't even matter. He makes the throws, so I don't really get too caught up on all that kind of stuff. That's why I said I want to make sure it's the right OC coming in here, because if you get somebody that thinks Jalen Hurts is super limited and they can't do nothing with him, it's going to be right back to square one. So, except 49ers took that butt whooping for us. 49ers saved us from feeling how 49ers feel getting murdered. Man, they listen, man, they talk too much. They left here. Fred Warner left here talking all that talk, just to get clapped the following week. Karma's I ain't gonna say the word, but karma's a huh. So, God bless them, but they're another team that, I love Kyle Shanahan, but 3 Super Bowls, no wins. 3 Super Bowls, no wins. And so you I'm gonna leave that up to their discretion how they feel about that. But that's why I said, like, me personally, I don't really care about limitations of what Jalen Hurts can do, or whatever the case may be, because it's the OC's job to come up in here and clean all that up. Josh Allen the same way. Like I said, Joe Brady, he cleaned most of that up, but sooner or later, if it's that bad, it's going to shine through. Like I said, don't make all the excuses for somebody like Josh Allen, but won't make excuses for Jalen Hurts, and he won a Super Bowl. But they'll sit there and say his team carried him to a Super Bowl. Whatever the case may be, man. I don't even be arguing with fools no more about that. You can feel how you feel about it, or it is what it is. So, but yeah, man. But how long I've been going? About an hour. I'm about to get ready to hop up off this joint. If y'all got any other questions though, drop them in the comments. Probably run this joint for another 4 minutes. Also, if you like what you've been hearing, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I greatly appreciate it. Been trying to go live a little bit more, but I will be throwing up the videos once again because, excuse me, because sometimes I ain't got enough time to be on here live. So I'm gonna have some time today before I go to work later on. But I trade Nick for that fired Bills coach easy. I don't know. I like Sean McDermott though. And it came out that they said he was critiquing the team. That's why he got fired. They said he was critiquing the team, saying what they lacked on player wise and stuff like that, which I didn't feel like that should be something that you get fired for. I think he sees what other people see. Talented teams. Just went against the Eagles. Talented team on both sides of the ball. The offense didn't show up, but the defense always shows up. All right, Mom, I'll call you right back. So I think he just took a an assessment of what he was seeing around the league. The teams that are in the playoffs. Look at the Broncos, good defense. Even the Patriots. Like, I've seen somebody say Drake May's better than Josh Allen right now, but even the Patriots, I don't think Drake May's could hold a candle to Josh Allen. But overall team, yeah, the team, because it's a team sport. Yeah, he can do something with that. I don't know why. If I didn't answer you 3 times, why you keep calling me back? I'm doing something. So, but with all that being said, though, I just feel like I forget what I was talking about. But Sean McDermott is I don't think he's a bad head coach, but I feel like he still has some stuff to prove. He did get them to an AFC championship where Josh Allen once again did some weirdness, then pick up the exotic blitz and then threw the ball to, it was a Dawson Knox. He didn't make the catch. Everybody blames Dawson, but it's cool though. So it is what it is, man. I can't make excuses for people. I know people will, but like I said, I think Nick Sirianni needs to get his stuff together, bro. I think he needs to figure out if he still wants to be this head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles team, and honestly, just a head coach in the NFL, because I don't know if Nick Sirianni leaves this team today, right? Do y'all think like people are like lining up? Like, I'm talking about like good organizations. I ain't talking about like somebody like the Jets or the Browns. You think somebody that has a winning organization is going to come out here and be like, I want Nick Sirianni as our head coach. That doesn't call plays, can't adjust, doesn't call the defense. You think they're gonna want him? I don't think so, bro. I don't think so. So, got love for Nick and all that, but I feel like he's the main reason why we can't find who we need to find or bring in who we need to bring in. Because at the end of the day, like he said in his press conference, he's still the head coach. He still wants to see things, happening his way under his regime, whatever you want to call it. But this is the reason why we keep going from top all the way back down to the bottom. Like, we're close. We're close. But like I said, it's all dictated on who the OC will be. So we just gotta figure out and wait and see, man. But two people don't pull their names out the race, and then Mike McDaniel's and Brian Daboll. You still got Bobby Slowik out there, Weiss. Um, what was it, Zach Robinson? Somebody said earlier. There's other people out there too. Because I even thought about, and people gonna be like, you tripping. What's my man name from that was coaching the Cowboys? McCarthy? Wasn't he was calling the offensive plays for the Cowboys? He's somebody that's older, right? He ain't probably looking for no more head coaching positions. Maybe he do, maybe he don't. But he's getting older though. Or if he's not older, probably like 60 some years old now. Mike McCarthy, you probably bring him in here. He probably be here for a couple of years. But that's what they need. They need to find somebody that can come up in here and be here for a couple of years, 2-3 years. Not come in, leave. That's been the pattern every year. You can't get no consistency like that. You already went to one Super Bowl with a first year OC. So just think what happens if you keep that OC here for a couple of years. That's why Nick was when they won the Super Bowl, he was like, Kellen, you want to run it back? Because he knew himself. Ain't no way I can get them back here by myself. I need you, brother. Kellen was like, hell no, I'm about to go be a head coach with the Saints and get this money. And probably didn't have to deal with, Nick Sirianni on the sideline and stuff like that. Because you heard Nick, call the play. Call the dagger. Like, come on, bro. Don't nobody holler at me, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm calling the plays. So it is what it is, man. But with all that being said, man, I'm about to hop off this joint. I greatly appreciate everybody that got a chance to stop by, kick it with me, talk to me about this Philadelphia Eagles team, man. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. To me, this ain't looking good. If they can't get somebody like Bobby Slowik or maybe like a Zach Robinson that worked under Mike McVay or Sean McVay, excuse me. I just think it's going to be the beginning of the end, man. I can't sit here and lie to y'all. Like, I can't lie. I really feel like from what's been going on these past couple of seasons, like, yeah, we won the Super Bowl last year, but then we get right back to this. Right back to this 2020, 2023 type joint. You feel me? And can't figure it out once again. Players get fed up, man. I'm telling y'all. So if they don't get this OC right, we are in we're in hot water, dog. So I'm gonna just keep it P with y'all. I'm gonna keep it P because people are sitting here talking about, oh, we're pulling our names out to go coach Justin Herbert. Just as bad as Josh Allen, bro. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it, but I digress. And I appreciate that, JB, man. You have a good day, brother. But if y'all could, before I hop up out of here, man, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe to always catch this vibe. I'm your host, Niall Frazier. I know this mic all in my face. And I really appreciate y'all stopping by once again. But like I said, just like, comment, and subscribe. I'ma holla at y'all. And y'all already know, man, regardless of who they pick, it's still go Birds, baby. I'm going to talk to y'all. Y'all be safe, man.